There are several stories from the world of cricket that entice the romantics of the game. One such story is that of the Desert Storm. Desert Storm? What does a storm have to do with cricket? For one, it went on to blur the lines between human and God. Let's go to the year 1998. Team Australia was in peak form. They were one of the strongest teams with some of the best players cricket has seen. This was also the era of Sachin Tendulkar. At the young age of 24, he was being called the embodiment of Sunil Gavaskar. He was the leading run getter in the 1996 World Cup, and clearly he was one of the best batsmen India had ever produced. Yet the year 1998 did not start well for him. Just to give you the background, he had gone without hitting an ODI ton in 33 innings. And finally, just 10 days before the Sharjah Cup, he ended that drought with a century against Australia in a tri-series tournament. But Australia, being Australia, beat India to win the series and continue their victory march as the number one side. Next up was the annual Coca-Cola Cup at Sharjah, which that year featured India, Australia and New Zealand. And with 3 wins out of 3 in the league phase, Australia had already qualified for the finals and looked all set to defeat the men in blue in the virtual semi-finals. It was the 22nd of April, a decider for India. Since both New Zealand and India had won 1 match each, India needed a victory to enter the finals or at least score high to benefit from a better run rate. But Michael Bevan demolished the Indian bowling attack with an impeccable century that propelled Australia to an imposing total of 284 for 7. You may wonder, what's the big deal to chase a target of 284? It is true that T20 internationals has changed the pace of scoring and made chasing targets of 300 plus rather common. But we are talking about a time when a score of 250 plus was formidable and 300 plus was considered unbeatable. 284 against that Australian side was no chance. Even the qualifying score of 257 was a huge challenge. And just so you know, in their last 3 matches at Sharjah in that series, India had not gone past the 220 mark. Now, in that scorching summer sun, when the heat crept in through the shoes causing blisters, Sachin and Saurav walked onto the field and took position. India's hopes were pinned on this famous opening pair. But Saurav could contribute only 17 runs before he fell to Fleming. Sachin was taking his time to find his ground, but with Nayan Mongia on the other side, he began attacking to make a 69 runs partnership before Moody dismissed Mongia.
In this partnership, Mongia in the air, that's out, he's hit it straight to mid-wicket, so the partnership have been broken. Mongia actually has done his stuff. He came out there, promoted in the order, was told to get on with it, and he's played a little gem of an innings.
Mohammad Azharuddin and Ajay Jadeja could not last long either and followed soon, adding enough drama as India neared the halfway mark. The scoreboard read 138 for 4. But 24-year-old Sachin was determined to win. The flurry of wickets did not deter his approach, and he continued his systematic assault of the Australian bowlers. As Lakshman joined, Sachin decimated the Australian bowling attack. Temperatures reached a maximum of 41 degrees at Sharjah, and so did the ball, as Sachin smashed Damien Fleming and Michael Kasparov. He looked like a man who was possessed, and were the fans going crazy, so was Tony Gray. And just when things began to look up, a desert storm came out of nowhere and took over the ground, stopping play for almost 20 minutes.
And the umpire is not spared too. Well, this is interesting. We've had rain stopping play, we've had bad light stopping play. It's been a long time since a sandstorm has stopped play.
Many players, including Sachin, had never witnessed something like this, and they marveled at nature's phenomenon. but Sachin was focused to resume his innings. Lakshman recalls him telling the coach in the dressing room that he would ensure India qualified for the finals. Now, with precious time being lost, the target was revised. From 285 in 50 overs, India now needed 277 of 46 overs to win and 237 runs to qualify for the finals. Back on the ground, Sachin entertained the audience like never before.
And he's gone straight over the top.
Just over the head a bit on.
He hammered the Australian bowlers to all corners of the ground to bring up his 100 in the 38th over.
Looking for two. He's got it. A wonderful 100 from Sachin Tendulkar, steering India to a place in the final here against us.
Team India was playing to qualify for the finals, but Sachin was determined to win the match as he continued to butcher the bowling attack.
Some people might call it. He's hit that one away. That's going to go for four. Beautifully played. Slightly short. He's got inside the ball and whacked it down to square leg. Straight down the ground. Wonderful shot. All the way for six. What a player. Lovely, crisp, clean hit. Straight down the ground.
Well, again, the pressure is off. He's gone after the bowler of the very first delivery of the over.
He single-handedly led India to the finals by crossing the 237-run mark to qualify with his unforgettable knock of 143 runs off 141 balls. This included 9 boundaries and 5 sixes. Remember, this was the non-T20 era, when sixes were few and precious. In fact, as he hit a straight six after securing India's passage to the final, the late Tony Greig shrieked in his redoubtable screech, "Sachin Tendulkar is playing for victory." This was exactly 9 years after national selector Naren Tamhane had told his colleagues, "Gentlemen, Tendulkar never fails." That innings of Sachin came to be known as the Desert Storm. India looked all set to win the match, but Sachin edged a ball to Adam Gilchrist and his innings came to a close.
32 to win the game. Oh, he's got him. Has he got him caught behind? Big appeal. They're not going to give him. They can't believe it. I reckon he's got a nick on that one. Sachin Tendulkar's walking. Sachin Tendulkar's walking, is he? Yes, he's walking. Well, that's the end of the most incredible innings. I think he just asked the umpire whether the ball carried. What a wonderful innings.
Yes, he was trying to pull this one away, and he was worried if it had gone over his shoulder. Just takes the bat on the way and into the keeper. But a standing ovation for one of the great knocks in one-day cricket.
Unfortunately, the rest of the team couldn't pull through, and India lost the match by 26 runs. However, Sachin had ensured that India still had a chance to win the trophy. Australia may have won the match, but the one who stood out tall was the little man in blue. In the 90s, though the match was at Sharjah, the team were put up in Dubai and had to travel back and forth, which was really tedious. Thoroughly drained out, Sachin and the entire team had only one day to rest before they played Australia again in the finals in Sharjah. The day of the finals arrived. After Sachin's whirlwind knock of 143 just 2 days back, the crowd was waiting to be swept off again. I still remember what Gavaskar said. Australia is playing a different ball game altogether, and this will be an easy victory for them. But if by any chance India has a chance, is if the little man Sachin Tendulkar has something to say. Literally, the finals was termed as Sachin Tendulkar versus Australia. It was a special day too, as it was Sachin's 25th birthday. He knew all eyes and hopes were on him, and if he failed to deliver, the Desert Storm innings would be of little relevance. Again, scoring 100 against Australian bowling attack was tough even for Sachin, and doing that back-to-back in Sharjah sweltering heat was going to be an uphill task. Thankfully for India, Australia did not get off to a good start. Agarkar and Prasad were quick to dismiss Mark Waugh, Ricky Ponting and Tom Moody in the first 6 overs for just 26 runs. And even as Michael Bevan and Adam Gilchrist set up a good partnership of 59 runs, they fell soon to leave Australia reeling at 5 for 121. Imagine what a strong team the Australians were. From 5 for 121, they went on to 272 for 9 at the end of 50 overs. This was all thanks to the brilliant 103 runs partnership between Steve Waugh and Darren Lehman. In the 90s, the ball was never changed in the middle of the game. And for a team batting second, anything above 250 was like driving uphill on reverse gear. Obviously, the score of 272 was humongous. Adding to that was the vicious Australian bowling attack, the searing heat in Sharjah, and the pressure of the finals. It was all of this that Sachin conquered that night with his batting prowess. As he walked onto the crease, he got back into power drive as he demolished the Australians. Kasparov, Moody, Fleming and Warne could do absolutely nothing to stop him. It's important to talk about Shane Warne. Shane Warne was the best spinner in cricket. He was feared. He gave batsmen the jitters. But not Sachin. Not that day. Warne bowled around the wicket. But before it could come down, spin and do the trick, Sachin danced down the tracks and nonchalantly sent the ball flying into the stands. A picture that remains etched in the minds of all cricket lovers and Sachin fans. Warne tried every possible trick, but Sachin was the beast. The great Shane Warne had met his match. He was frustrated, bewildered, but above all, he was in awe of the little master blaster.
And he's not finished yet. Consecutive boundaries for Tendulkar. This man doesn't want to leave it till the end. He wants to get it over as quickly as possible.
An equally magnificent shot, straight drive, and then...
In an interview later, Warne mentioned that this innings continues to haunt him. The crowd went crazy as Sachin reached his century in the 37th over, but he continued to entertain. He was glancing at ease, dancing out of the pitch to hoist the ball out of the ground. With full force, he was hitting his iconic straight drives to perfection. What a treat it was to watch. So much so that Tony Greig went on to compare the little champion to Sir Don Bradman.
Oh, this is high. What a six! What a six! Way down the ground. It's on the roof. It's bouncing around on the roof. Michael Kasparov is the new bowler. There it is. He smashed it.
When the scoreboard read 248, Sachin lost his wicket. And that one wicket had the entire Indian team reeling. It was as if India had been hit in the knees. Was India going to buckle under pressure like the previous match, where they had managed to put up only 8 runs after Sachin's dismissal? That is how intimidating the Australians were. The one man who had braved them was back in the pavilion. Was India going to lose this match too? Well, Sachin's fearlessness had dropped off on his teammates. Azhar and Jadeja stood their ground, battled their fears, and took India to the finish. What a stunning victory, and what an incredible match.
Won all their preliminary matches, scored a big score here, and India on the day were good enough to get there. Sachin Tendulkar and Mohammad Azharuddin Their partnership was a pleasure to watch.
And now I'd like to call the player of the series to come up and have a few words with us. Sachin, many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Rich man on your birthday.
Yeah, I wish I could have many more birthdays like this. It's good for the country.
A dream series, to do it 2 days on the trot. You did that on 2 days ago on Wednesday and again today. You must have been tired.
I was tired, but I had to give a gift to my wife on my birthday. So this is for my wife.
Well, 271. It was a stiff target. What was your plan when you went out there?
I thought Damon Fleming was really bowling well. My aim was to see him off initially and then take the charge, and it worked.
Now, in the last couple of months, you've taken over 1,000 runs of the Aussie attack. Do you think you're batting probably at the best in your career?
I would like to be better than this. I'll be trying. There is always scope for improvement, I feel. But looking back at the series against Australia, in India and here, I'm very pleased about that.
Well, many congratulations, Sachin. Fantastic performance.
What a stunning victory and what an incredible match. As every Indian across the globe jumped with joy, history had been made. India had won the cup, and how. Nobody who had witnessed that match can ever forget that night. The night when a god was created. The god of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar.